Good morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Welcome to another edition of Observations of an American Living in Germany. And I have my Brondo shirt on again today. Second time I've worn it. I bought it maybe a month ago. So it's an allusion to the movie called Idiocracy that came out in 2006, produced by Mike Judge, the guy who made the show called The Office. He's also known for Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. So if you know, you know. Anyway, I was looking at dw.com, which is a very good website. It's kind of like German PBS as far as I can tell, but they publish all their material in English originally, so it's not even really a translation. It's very well done. A headline caught my eye today, and it said, "A call to arms, Polish citizens get military training." And basically, it says since the invasion of Ukraine, Poland has massively been upgrading its military. People are worried the war could spread to their country as more and more civilians are training on how to use weapons. I find that kind of interesting. That kind of follows along the history of the United States with the right to keep and bear arms. Poland, as you know, is next to Germany, but it also borders Belarus, which is an ally of Russia and Putin, and it also directly borders Ukraine. And contrary to popular um, contrary to popular belief, there are American soldiers in Poland. Probably not that many, but they have forward bases there. So Poland is a frontline state on the eastern flank of the NATO countries. Um, you know, Poland is aiming to become a stronger military power. They're mobilizing their society to achieve that goal. Increasingly popular are military training programs for civilians offered nationwide by both state and private organizations. Now, I did read something about this before, and I also read that Finland is doing something similar too. They're opening up shooting ranges, teaching citizens how to use firearms. That's very interesting, because Europeans have never been, big fans of the right to keep and bear arms, and a lot of Europeans think the United States is crazy because we have about 100 million people with more than 400 million various firearms. But then again, what would happen if somebody tried a land invasion of the United States? Not even to mention there's oceans on both sides, but to have more than one third of the population very heavily armed, um, you're going to have a tough time taking and holding territory with boots on the ground. So if you've ever seen the movie called Red Dawn, you might understand that. Now that was a Hollywood rendition, and maybe it wouldn't quite go that way, but there would literally be a rifle behind every tree, and you wouldn't know who among the people is armed and who's not, which is why the government so badly wants to get a firearms registry. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today. Um, in Poland, they have the slogan, "Train with the Army." The Polish Armed Forces is offering 1 day, I guess you could call it a teaser course from big cities to remote areas, and the demand has been huge. Um, they're learning how to shoot the AK-47 um, Soviet bloc assault rifle. It's called the Kalashnikov. There are different variations of it. I think they have the SKS, the AK, the AKMS. I'm not too familiar with my Soviet bloc hardware, but it's basically the AK-47 it's about a 30 caliber round. I think it's a 7.62 by 35 millimeter, something like that. It's bigger than what comes out of an AR, which is only a 223 caliber, a 5.56 millimeter. But anyway, they're letting people practice with a military assault rifle, which has selective fire where you can fire semi automatic or full automatic. In the United States, you cannot own anything that's fully automatic unless you jump through a lot of hoops and pay a tax and all that stuff. It says in Poland, paramilitary groups have also become popular. They try to prepare young people for military service, which I think is good. I think the Poles have this sense of patriotism. They've been conquered and occupied so many times. They want to maintain their sovereignty. That's why they're building up their defenses. They're also taking a hard line on stopping their country from being invaded by migrants. Hungary is doing the same thing in that regard too. Although I don't think Hungary is encouraging their citizens to arm up. At least I haven't read anything about that. But I just think that with the Ukrainian border so close to them, they're kind of scared. I mean, they're you could say they're in a much more precarious position than Germany. But anyway, I've rambled on enough with that. I just think that times are going to get interesting in Eastern Europe. And, I don't possess to know all the answers. And I try to be open-minded, and I kind of see where Vladimir Putin comes from. I'm not saying he's a good man, but I do kind of sympathize with him a little bit when he says he feels like he's being encircled by NATO. Because now, Sweden and Finland are in NATO. He's almost surrounded. So, anyway, well, that's enough for that. That's just something I observed on DW.com. I suggest you take a look at it. It's a pretty good website. Wherever you live in the world, they don't just do stuff about Germany, but they have a lot of stuff about the EU, things going on in the Middle East, and even stuff in the United States that you're not going to see on American media. So anyway, everybody have a great day and enjoy the sunshine.